Hello, boils and ghouls. Welcome to Watchers Podcast with your hosts, Brad and Colson.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told it was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. My name's Brad, here with Colson Oliver.
Hello.
Colson, how's it going today?
It's going.
It's starting to feel like fall.
Uh-huh.
It's probably winter
Yep.
by the time everyone's hearing this.
Exactly.
It's middle of September at the moment.
Yep.
Have you been doing anything? Or?
I did something today.
Oh.
I go for walks in the morning when I get home from work.
Yep.
I walk actually to your house, and then I come back.
That's why there's always a turd at the end of
Exactly.
my driveway. Yeah.
So my wife was leaving for work today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, here's a perfect opportunity. I'll fucking pull my pants down, and I'll just kind of run down the road with my ass hanging out. So I see her backing out. I'm about 200 feet past the driveway. And, okay, she's backing out. It's pitch black out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, perfect. So I throw them down. I'm holding them with my left hand in the front so that they don't go around my ankles. And I kind of start running. If anybody's seen Family Guy, when Peter goes to get he's getting a checkup and the doctor sticks fingers up his ass and he runs home like that. That's kind of what I had imagined. Anyway, she gets about 40 feet from me, and I kind of glance over. I have my headphones on as well. I glance over. There's another car coming behind her. So I was like, oh, shit. So anyway, I hike my pants back up, and she goes right past me. And the second vehicle slowed down and then just continued driving. And I was like, well, they for sure fucking got a good show of a delicious, juicy ass of mine.
I hope you charged them for that.
I messaged my wife. I was like, she's not convinced that they saw it because she didn't even really notice until she was like 50 feet away.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they didn't see, but
I'm hoping they did.
I don't even care. They don't know who I am. Well, they probably do, but
yeah.
So that was my morning.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, what about you? Have you been up to anything?
No.
Nothing quite as erotic as that.
No. I ended up with a 4-day weekend.
Nice.
With the way my schedule worked out and a holiday yesterday because of the death of the Queen and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I haven't done much. I watched some movies, though.
That's good.
Have you been watching anything?
I have. Do you want me to talk about mine?
Yeah.
I got
you got.
3 that I'll talk about. The first one is The Unholy.
Okay.
Which is a Sam Raimi produced movie.
Okay.
You can tell it's Sam Raimi influenced.
Yeah. Does that feel?
Yeah, that feel kind of like Drag Me to Hell feel to it.
Yep.
Yeah, I hadn't heard really much of anything about it.
No.
It's about basically it's a possession movie. Mm-hmm. They think they're talking to the Mary godmother or whatever the fuck she is, and it may be something more sinister.
Oh.
So I watched that. I watched a movie called The Long Night. Another one I hadn't heard of, but it's on Shudder, I believe.
Is that medieval porn movie
that's
with the guy with the giant dong?
It was so hot.
Yeah.
This one has Scout Taylor Compton. Is that her name?
Oh, yeah.
The one who played Laurie Strode in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Yep.
That one, her and her boyfriend are looking for her family in like the South, Alabama or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to this house and there's like people outside and they're like a cult type thing.
Oh.
Hadn't heard anything about it. It came out last year, maybe even this year. But anyway, it was okay. Nothing special.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. It was definitely stuff's been done before, but it had some new takes on things, and it wasn't bad.
Okay.
And the third one I watched is I Came By, which is on Netflix.
Okay.
That's brand new at this time, not when this episode comes out. But it's got the kid from 1918.
Oh, yeah.
Him and his friend are like taggers. Is that what they're called? The people who spray paint?
Yeah.
So they break into rich people's houses and they spray paint. And they're like getting the word out, man. And the guy ends up going into somebody's house and sees something. That,
okay.
Dun, 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 you know. I won't spoil it for anybody because it is new.
So is this horror, thriller?
It was a thriller. It wasn't really horror, more suspense thriller. Okay. But I liked it enough. Nothing special, but a fun watch for an hour and a half.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's what I did.
I watched Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay. And how was it?
I think Ragnarok is still better.
Okay.
I won't talk about it too much because I feel like we'll end up talking about it at some point.
Okay.
But it does a weird tone shift. Like the first half of the movie kind of has that Thor goofiness to it.
Right.
And then it kind of turns completely.
Okay.
And you're like, I like the first half better.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Christian Bale's good though.
I've heard he's really good in it.
Yeah, he's great. He's really creepy.
Right.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah. And I watched Pearl.
Okay.
Sequel to X, or prequel to X.
Right.
Ty West movie. Another one I'm not going to talk about right now.
Right.
Because I'm going to wait till you see it. Yeah. And then we will talk about that one.
We will, yeah.
A little bit of a teaser for the future.
Yeah.
And I've been watching a show called The White Lotus.
Okay.
If anyone's watched Nine Perfect Strangers, kind of the same feel. Everybody goes to this resort, and you have like multiple groups.
Okay.
Like there's a family, then there's a couple on their honeymoon. Jennifer Coolidge is in it, and she's there to release her mother's ashes into the ocean.
Okay.
Steve Zahn and his wife and kids are there. Alexandra Daddario or whatever. Her and the guy that played Pete in The Office are the couple on the honeymoon.
Okay.
Like there's a bunch of weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
The very first line in the show, just to kind of set up what happens, is this guy is sitting there at an airport, and this couple is talking to him, and they're like, "Oh, where were you at?" And he's like, "Oh, the White Lotus." And they're like, "Oh," and then they're like, "I wonder why our plane's taking so long." He's like, "There's a body being loaded onto our plane that's going back." And they're like, "Oh, why were you there?" And he's like, "I was on my honeymoon."
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh, where's your wife?"
Oh. Being loaded.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he's just like, fuck off.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's like a super dark comedy.
Yeah.
And at this point, she's still alive, so you're just kind of waiting. Like,
yeah.
You're wondering what does happen.
Right on.
Yeah. Very good show.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I watched.
Okay.
But we both watched a movie called Nope.
Yep.
Came out 2022. has a 7.10. No. 7 out of 10
Yes.
on IMDb. Written and directed by Jordan Peele. And I will let you take it away.
All right. The residents of a lonely gulch in inland California bear witness to an uncanny and chilling discovery. Stars Daniel Kaluuya. O.J. Haywood is who he plays. Keke Palmer plays Emerald Haywood, his sister. And Stephen Yeun, who plays Jupe, Ricky Park.
Yep.
Yeah. A few other people in there, but
yeah,
those are the key players, I would say.
I would add Angel as well.
Okay.
The guy, I think that's his name, right?
Yeah. I didn't write him down. I don't know why. He had a big part.
Yeah.
Runtime, about 2 hours, roughly.
Yep.
2:10 with credits. And there will be spoilers.
Yeah.
So,
you just recently watched this one?
Yeah, a couple days ago.
Okay, I watched this one.
Yeah, it's been about a month.
Probably.
Or 3 weeks, probably, at least.
Whenever it came out in theaters, I guess.
Yeah, you saw it like at the tail end of the theater, I think.
Yeah.
Because about a week or two after it became available.
Yeah. Oh, it was the next day.
Right. Was it the next day?
Yeah. Because I would have watched it at home if I could have.
Yeah, it was very close. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you watched a Jordan Peele movie, this one's a little bit different in the theme, but there's definitely those hidden meanings and stuff all scattered throughout and little Easter eggs.
Yeah, I was very excited for this movie.
Yep.
We'll get into it. Yeah. So the whole plot of it is they run a horse ranch that they use in the movie. The horses are used in movies and TV and whatever. Hollywood, Haywood, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Horses. Haywood horses. Or Haywood Hollywood horses, whatever.
Triple H.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a brother and sister. We see the father at the beginning. It rains something. We don't really know what. We can just hear it. And you hear that as it's raining something, you hear, and then you just kind of see him slumping over a little bit, and he ends up falling off this horse that he's riding, and we find out that it was a nickel.
Yeah, it was
I believe a coin.
Yeah.
Lodged right through his eyeball.
Yeah.
I guess he was looking up like, what the fuck is that? And it went right through.
Yeah.
So the father's dead, so his business is in mostly the son's hands, with his sister helping out.
Yeah.
We kind of get a feel for the two main characters at the beginning when they're doing that shoot.
Yeah.
He's very quiet and like not. It's an uncomfortable scene.
Yeah. Keke Palmer, his sister, she wants to be like showy,
right,
and eccentric. He wants to just do his job, do it well, and get out of there.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
He's very protective. He's very cautious of injuries. Like he mentions a few times, like don't walk. And if you know horses, you're not supposed to walk right behind them because they could get scared and they can kick you.
Yep.
And he's telling people like don't go behind the horse. He says it a couple times.
Yeah.
And he says don't look it in the eye a few times. And the horse ends up freaking out at one point. Those people are they're the dumb. And
terrible.
I wonder if that's really what I'm sure it is on certain sets that people are like the one guy's like, tell the horse we're ready to shoot now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're gonna shoot now, and the horse fucking nods his head like, what are you stupid? You can't just they don't communicate like humans.
Yeah.
So they're just dumb people.
I love one part of that scene. Keke Palmer's character, what's her name?
Her name is Emerald.
Emerald. She does the little spiel, like about how the jockey was in the first movie ever was a black man, was related to them, and then she was like, my great grandfather or whatever.
Yeah,
and then he's like, another great. She's like, great grandfather.
Yeah.
And then this has been all over the internet. I'm not a genius for picking up on this, but then later on she's watching TV and it's her father doing the spiel.
Oh.
So that's why she missed a great.
Right.
Because she's copying the same thing that he did.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I never even noticed that.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's the whole setup. These people are trying to keep this business afloat. The horse actually freaks out at one scene. Mm-hmm. And as he's kind of getting, I don't know if he's getting fired officially, but it's funny because you see them wheeling in a prop horse. It's like a green screen horse. So you know, like, okay, the real horse is done.
Yeah.
So they're going this way, which is unfortunate. We've talked in the past about animals in movies.
Yeah.
And, it sucks because they can make them with CGI now, and they seem to be doing that. And it's like, sometimes they look, and it just makes it better with a real animal there.
Yeah. I remember in I Am Legend.
Yeah.
That was like early on
yeah.
CGI.
That's right.
And they really tried to make animals look good in that, and they were bad.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, jumping forward, the horses on the ranch are acting weird.
Yeah.
The first scene of the UFO, which we see, it's very quick.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like how they do almost blink and you miss it. He's they're kind of, as the thing says, they're in a gulch.
Yeah.
Kind of surrounded by mountains on like 3/4 of their property.
Yeah.
And the shot is like, you just see it kind of go, it's nighttime.
Yep.
And it flies in between for maybe a second, maybe two. And I like that. I like how they keep it mysterious, and it's just not all out there at once.
Yep.
I like that. But it's funny because I went to Signs in the theater,
mm-hmm.
and if you've seen Signs, the scene where the little girl's like, there's a monster outside my window, can I have a glass of water? And then Mel Gibson puts her back to bed, and he looks out her window, and then there's an alien standing on the barn.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I don't know how I didn't see it, because looking back now, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
But the whole audience that I was in the theater was like, and I was like, what happened? Like, I had no idea. Like, so blink and you miss it. But
yeah.
They kept it a mystery, decently enough.
Yeah, they did.
A little further in, they're kind of convinced something's going on now. Like, really, after that first encounter that he saw something. He's positive he saw something.
Yeah.
Later on, when the barn light goes on and he goes out there, are you that brave to go, if you're in your house or whatever, and something outside of your house, like let's say you had a shed or garage or something, and the lights go on, are you going to go out there like he does? He has no fear.
Yeah. Probably not my shed. No.
Terrifying.
Yeah, they can have whatever they want in the shed. If they're in my house, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
My family's in there.
Yeah.
But
well, he goes out there, he hits the light back off, and he's walking back, and then the lights come back on, and he turns around, something stands up. It appears from just underneath the light switch. That shit scared the fuck, like, I was terrified. Goosebumps. I was like, oh my God. I even do that at home. I would never do it in the theater, but at home with my wife, we see it stand up. I'm like, oh, that holy shit. And he's backing up, and then another one pops its head out, and you're like, oh my God. And then he's getting his camera ready. He's saying nope, which is funny. And then one of them drops right beside him, and it is the stupidest looking alien thing.
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, please. And he punched it, and I was like, oh, thank God. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank God, because that would have been so tacky and corny, and we find out that it's Jupe's kids fucking with him.
Yeah.
Which, I was so happy when that turned out to be fake.
Yeah, me too. Because it looked bad.
Yeah, everything leading up to it, because they're far enough away that you could just see a shape of a human-looking thing.
Yeah.
Perfect. But then that up-close shot, I was like, oh my God. It's a mat, and then thank God it was.
And then you find out later that they're using costumes that they're selling at Jupe's place called Jupiter's Claim.
That's right.
Which is like a little cowboy village
theme
park.
He's got a whole thing going there. It's pretty cool.
It is. You can go to that in Universal.
Yeah, I saw it at the very end of the credits at the end of the movie. There's it's just a sign. Like it's like the Western sign or whatever in Universal Hollywood or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They had a little advertising on it.
Cool.
So yeah, they get cameras hooked up by Angel.
Mm-hmm. Angel works at Fry's, I think it's called.
I think that's right.
Which I guess is a real, or used to be a real chain of electronics stores. Okay. And each one was themed differently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like,
weird.
It could be aliens in one and Bigfoot in the next.
Yeah.
And I never heard of them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they get him to set up and they don't exactly tell him what the hell it's for, but they keep getting him to point the camera higher and higher and higher until it's basically pointing at the sky.
Yeah. And
he's trying his best to like, I can do this for no free of charge. I'll check in, and they're like, nope, like don't want you. And he's like, all right, and he leaves. And that night or whatever night it is, when shit's going down, there's a praying mantis on one of the cameras. That made me jump as well, because you're watching. I think it's Emerald's watching the camera as OJ is out, in the field, and it just it appears like, and it made me jump.
Yeah,
and you can't see anything but this stupid fucking praying mantis rubbing its creepy hands together as the other camera is shut off because of the ship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just another jump scare that got me.
Yeah, it was good.
Now, my next note is I had to pause the movie, and I figured we were like 35 minutes in, 40 minutes. It was over an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So that went by quick. It felt like a lot less. Now, I'm not sure if it's because not a lot happened in that time. Like, they didn't really do much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it felt short. Because not much was happening. I don't really know.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, teasing in that hour, too, with another storyline that happened with Gordy.
Right.
The monkey.
Yeah, that's how the whole movie started.
Yeah.
Was with this monkey or chimpanzee that you can see a woman's foot.
Yeah.
And there's blood everywhere all over him.
Yeah, you can tell it's like in a studio.
Yeah, there's applause. There's applause flashing going off. There's been chaos.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're waiting to see. And we I guess we did they had their first encounter with Jupe. And we find out that he was in this TV show. Yeah, and that OJ's been selling horses to Jupe to keep them afloat because they're going under. Yeah. I love Jupe's whole character. Yeah. Like, he's been on this TV show where there's tragedy, but he's completely exploiting it. Yeah. He has like a whole room dedicated to it. Hidden room, and it's Gordy's Room. Is that what the show's called? I can't remember. Or Gordy's show. I think Gordy's Room sounds right. Yeah, yeah. And like he's telling the story about it, and he's like, that SNL skit they did, yeah, with Chris Kattan. Yeah, they pretty much nailed it. Yeah. Definitely. He's definitely making money. He even mentions, I think, a couple paid him X amount of money to stay in this room.
Yeah.
That has all this memorabilia and shit. Yeah. The hour mark is where things change for me.
Okay.
Personally. We find out that this thing isn't necessarily aliens. It's a creature that is it's a monster that's feeding.
Yeah.
It's eating horses, and there's a scene earlier on where Emerald has that plastic horse with the ribbon, and it sucks it up and ends up not being able to digest it properly.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's what pisses it off.
Yeah.
Because we find out Jupe has been feeding it horses.
Yes.
The horse he's been buying from OJ.
Yeah.
He puts on a show where he has a crowd of people.
Yes.
And he's like, all right, you're going to see an alien.
Yeah.
And he feeds the horse to it.
Yeah.
And there's one part I want to talk about in that scene.
Okay.
It ends up the girl from the monkey or the chimp attack is still alive.
Yes.
And she's in the crowd with that hat with the veil.
She has a veil covering her face.
Have you ever seen that on Oprah?
I have.
Yeah. I think her name, what was it, Clara Hughes or something?
I'm not sure.
But yeah, that's like identical, that veil and the hat, attacked by a chimp.
Yep.
I remember walking into the living room as my parents were watching that, just as the one revealed her face. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, yeah.
It scared me.
Brutal. Yeah, yeah. She's still alive.
Yeah.
So you're right. He is feeding this thing horses, and it's pissed off and ends up eating everybody.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's during the very opening of the movie when OJ's feeding horses. You can hear on the radio they mention like missing hikers.
Oh yeah,
this type thing. So we find out that this thing eats these things, but if you have metal, whatever, it can't digest it. And after it kills Jupe and all those people, it sucks them up. Probably like 20 or 30 people in the audience.
Yeah.
And it eats them all.
Yeah.
It goes over their house and just shits everything out or pukes it out or whatever the fuck it does.
Which was kind of a cool visual.
It was.
Because you have all the blood pouring down over the house.
Blood, and it's being hit with
car keys and money. And...
money. So that's what that does. Finding out it was a monster and not aliens, it hurt me.
Did it?
Yeah.
What if it's an alien monster?
That's not the same. I was so happy when those things stood up in the barn, and then, obviously 38 seconds later, I was like, thank God that wasn't them.
Yeah.
But initially, I was like, yes. And then finding out, oh no, it's like a gigantic squid that flies around the air, it bugged me.
Yeah.
It bugged me.
I liked the twist of it.
It's different.
It's different. It was a different take on it. Once we found that out, I found it kind of felt almost like Jaws in a way.
Okay.
Where only like reverse. Instead of being in the water, it's in the air. And you're kind of, instead of hearing the electricity would like short out and stuff when it was around. Like power would go out. So you knew when it was close. Yeah. And it kind of had that same feel as when you'd hear the music, you knew Jaws was close.
That's right.
One scene in particular where they have the waving inflatable arm man.
Yep.
All of them set up.
All over the ranch.
Yeah, so they can tell where he's at whenever those are turning on and turning off.
Yeah.
You kind of get that feel. But with that being said, I didn't love what happens with the monster later on.
Okay.
When he fucking opens up.
Yeah.
It looks so stupid.
Completely changed, right?
Yeah.
It went from a flying saucer look with the black hole thing underneath to like it kind of, I guess a jellyfish would be the best way to...
Yeah, like broke open.
Yeah, and it was kind of floating through the air, and there's even like this, like, shoot, like every few seconds when it's about to eat you, like this thing is just rippling, like shoo, shoo, shoo. It's just, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, it bummed me out. It is different, I get that, but when I'm expecting something, and I gotta say, I'm not the biggest Jordan Peele fan. I think this is my least favorite of the three.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
I think that Get Out is insanely overrated. Yeah. I think it's a really cool idea, but winning Oscars, I'm like, oh boy, I don't know. So many better horror movies have been out in the last, however many years, and just of all time, that it's like, I don't know. Anyway,
I think Us is my favorite that he's done so far.
Okay, I think Us is my I would put Get Out first, Us second, this third. But
I find with his movies too, 90% of them are like really interesting,
right?
And then to tie it up, it kind of gets wonky.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about this one and Us, and even Get Out a bit.
Yeah.
Like the reveal of why.
Yeah.
Kind of gets...
Yeah, I had intended... My plan was to watch this and his other two in the weekend, and I was like, yeah, I own both. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I watched this one, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm not going to, so I didn't. But yeah, I don't know. Just not my cup of tea of a director, I guess, and writer. That's all the notes I have. I also, they live, both of them live.
Yeah.
I thought that he died, and then there's this big, like, Django Unchained reveal at the end of him on the horse. Like, the music even kicks in, like, I don't know. It was just okay to me.
Yeah. I did like the shot where they're sucking the people up and it shows inside.
Inside, yeah.
It's so claustrophobic and gross looking.
Yeah.
Like, it almost looks like pink lights and silk sheets or something.
Yeah,
and it's
sheets. That's like, a good way to put it.
It's like its throat.
Yeah.
Just, it's a giant Kirby.
That's right.
Sucking everybody up.
That's right. One other thing I find strange, nothing about the movie itself, just about reviews. Like you said, it has a 7.0 on IMDb. Scroll through some of those reviews, and they are like, I'm gonna read a couple and their ratings. 2 these are all out of 10. 2, slow, overhyped, boring. 1, close encounter of the turd kind. 2, seriously disappointing. 3, an apt title. 3, a fitting title. 3, an incompetent UFO obsesses over a few people. Most of these are below 4, like almost all of them that you find. So I'm like, how the fuck is this a 7? If all I can find out of 1,700 reviews you scroll through, they're low ratings. It's very weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But yeah, I was let down. I'll probably buy it still. Not brand new $26 Blu-ray, but when it goes on for $15 or $10 on Black Friday or something, or whenever it's out, that's when I'll pick it up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Nothing urgent. I've seen it now already. So I will pick it up when it's on sale.
Nice.
But yeah, I found it average. Like I say, the first few jump scares, they worked on me.
Yeah.
After that, it kind of fell apart.
Right.
But I will say, it is a different take. I saw your review on Letterboxd. You said we need a Gordy movie.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's what I want.
I saw that before I watched it. I didn't know I didn't know any of the characters. So nothing was spoiled. Like, who's this Gordy that's...
Yeah.
And then it was the chimp, Chimp?
Chimp.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I agree with that 100%. That'd be a great movie.
Yeah, those were my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
That one scene where it shows Gordy
rampaging.
Yeah, and getting his brains blown out.
Oh, that was so sad.
Yeah. Oh, it was so creepy because they're showing it from Jupe's point of view.
Yeah,
you find out later he's been there for the whole fucking thing under the table.
And what the fuck kind of crew? One just leaves a child actor. Like, fend for yourself, shithead. They just leave him, and the audience, you understand, they get the fuck out. But the crew and everybody just bailing. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I found that to be the scariest part of the movie.
Yeah, it was up there for sure.
When he gets shot in the head, I jumped at that.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's a jump scare for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I like the shot. I like the way it was shot. The night shots looked really good.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the acting. I saw one review somebody said was like, I can't remember what they described having her as a sister would be like. Basically bleeding from your ears 24/7 because she's that annoying. She is annoying, but I found it more funny.
Yeah, she's probably my favorite character in the movie.
I liked all the characters in the movie. Yeah. I had no problem with that.
No.
I liked the way it was shot, like I said. It was just, I think it was just let down. I'll have to give this one another watch down the road, and it may change.
Yeah, now that you know what you're getting into, you're now like, ooh, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So there's no aliens
exactly.
in it? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Spooky, scary, terrifying.
First half is scary.
Yep.
Second half is spooky.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You already talked about what made you jump.
Yep.
Mine was Gordy getting shot.
Yeah, that one. It was so loud and out of nowhere too.
Yeah.
He was about to fist bump the kid, and
just
brains go everywhere. Poor little stupid monkey.
Kills.
I didn't mark them down. There was at least 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite's probably the dad at the first.
At the beginning.
And
and that was a funny thing. Like, you kind of knew what happened. Like, he got hit with something. But yeah, to find out it was a fucking nickel right through the eyeball.
Yeah.
Like, brutal kill.
They should have had, like, some other currency be what killed him.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this thing's traveling.
That's right. Yeah.
That's a euro.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I like that kill too. Everybody else is kind of all at once.
Yeah.
Like they all get sucked up.
I do like when the house has its period on top of it.
Right.
Or the alien has its period on the house.
Yes.
Yeah. Ratings?
So ratings, okay. I am going with a 5.5.
Okay.
I had it at a 6 originally, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, fucking no alien piece of shit movie. So 5.5 for me.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm going with a 7.5.
Okay.
I really liked it, but it really does fall apart at the end.
Yeah. Jellyfish.
I forgot to mention, too, I like Emerald's obsession with trying to get the photo.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's the whole plot of the movie. They're wanting to become famous.
Yeah.
Like, trying to get the picture.
Yeah, they mentioned the money shot that would get them on Oprah.
Yeah.
Oprah's not even a show anymore. You know what I'm fucking talking about. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Like, that's their whole drive is to get this picture so they can be rich.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, she has the well at Jupiter's Claim taking the pictures up into the sky.
That's right.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the Jordan Peele style of symbolism everywhere and all that stuff. So I like watching the movie, then going back on YouTube and finding out all the stuff I missed.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, 7.5 for me.
Okay.
I would watch it again. Not anytime soon because it felt long.
Right.
But yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
So that'll do it for this episode. Let us know what you thought of Nope. And we'll be back next week with something new. Bye.